Behold the Metatron, herald of the Almighty and voice of the one true God. Behold the Metatron, herald of the Almighty and voice... fuck it.
That's great. Good start. Yeah, this is the beginning of everything.
And I'm Dustin Goes to Hollywood, the only one who's going to introduce themselves on this show.
Oh, I'm Nathan.
And I am the creator of this podcast, which is...
It was a joint effort, you asshole.
And
you pitched me 2 ideas, and I chose one of them.
You sure did. And this is the Silver Linings Playlist, a podcast that tries to find the silver lining in humanity itself.
Wow.
How you like that?
Yeah, I got a great flood coming right now. That was good.
Ew. This is going to be a gross episode.
Yeah, gross episode and a kickoff to a gross season, because this is season 8. We're back.
We're back, baby.
You heard a new theme song. We got new artwork. We're all over the place here. Mm-hmm. We're doing it big. You know what? The flood washed away.
I wasn't aware of either of those things.
I know you weren't. A flood washed away all previous 7 seasons, and a new seed of a season has blossomed in its place, where we get drunk on the beach and talk movies.
Yeah, starting with a movie that barely qualifies for the podcast, just to uphold some bullshit tradition.
Wait, can we start doing this from the beach?
Oh my God, from the beach that makes you old? Yeah, certainly. Yeah, Noah doesn't really qualify for the show, but, you know, you can make an argument for it.
Sure.
And, fuck it. It's the last Aronofsky movie up to date that he's made as a feature-length film.
To be fair, it does qualify, because I'm not in a good mood after I watched it, because the movie's fucking stupid.
There's that. That is a very good argument for why it applies for this show.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, you know, there's a new season. We're doing things a little bit differently. We also have... I don't want to call him an addition to the show, because he's certainly been here plenty of times before, but we've now given someone a promotion from special guest, special Halloween knower, enthusiast, expert.
Michael Myers heard about her.
Heard about her. I don't even want to call it a promotion. It's more like a lateral move. He is now our comptroller. Also known as just a controller, but pronounced differently.
Yeah.
But JT Kelly is going to be joining us for any episode he is able. I just want to put this.
And he's already mastered the soundboard.
I want to put a note here. That was not me. JT now has full control over the soundboard. That was him doing that.
So just let me get this straight. We have put our drunkest guest in charge of the sound.
Oh, that's right, because you weren't with us when Hauser did The Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. No, JT, I figured, you know what, we needed someone on here to do some stuff for me, because I can't do it all. I need someone to Google. I need someone to IMDb. I'm using it as a verb now. I need someone else to control the soundboard while I'm doing everything else in the background. And you were happy enough to oblige us. But the caveat is you're only going to be with us when you can,
right?
Which hopefully will be every episode. But and also, you're not required to watch the movie. So I got to ask right up top, did you watch Noah?
I did not.
That's okay.
No, absolutely not.
Are you familiar with the concept of a Noah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard about him.
Have you seen the British version, Nar?
Ew.
Wait, am I supposed to acknowledge JT or just ignore him the whole time?
No. Whatever you want to do. He's like the guy behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. You know, he's back there pulling levers and things.
So he's the wizard?
Yeah, he's the wizard of the show.
I love it because you have 2 other hosts on the show, and then you ask me to do something, and I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, these guys aren't going to do diddly dick, so it's
excuse me. Very excuse me.
I don't show up half the fucking time.
No, it's fine. I wanted someone who was impartial, someone that didn't feel like they had to do a lot of homework.
I think I joined 2 seasons ago, and I've done at least as many episodes as Mally.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Well, to be fair, Nathan has 12 other podcasts.
That's true. Yeah, the man's pulled weight. So
yeah.
I know. I thought this was perfect. This is low energy, low requirements here.
Yeah,
and you passed the interview process with flying colors. You had good references, which were other episodes of the show.
Oh,
wait, I'm a little upset we didn't interview him during an episode.
That would be a great bonus episode.
That is a good idea. Why are you qualified to do the job we already hired you to do?
Hey, did we fuck up?
Check out the Patreon for updates on that.
I think we got to look at how much we're paying him, because I might assign some numbers on there, some extra zeros that I'm not fully aware of.
We're paying him.
Yeah, there's too many because there's only zeros.
JT, that you brought up a good point. For those who have only been listening on the main feed, you're hearing us for the first time in several months, but those diehard real fans, the true believers, have known that we've been active ever since we went off the air for season 7, because we have launched a Patreon this past summer where currently Nathan and I are doing a little bonus sideshow where we're only talking about showgirls.
A mistake that has yielded fruit.
It has somehow blossomed like a forest from one simple seed, like in this movie. But
a lot of seeds in this movie.
This is the weirdest OnlyFans ad I've ever heard in my life.
By the time you hear this episode,
we'll be dead.
We will be dead. We have launched 10 episodes, if you can fucking believe it, talking about Showgirls.
And somehow talked to one of the actors from Showgirls. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't know what my life is anymore.
Mm-hmm. We talked to Rena Riffle, and you don't even have to be a member of the Patreon. You can go watch that on YouTube, and check that shit out. But
check that shit out.
It's only $1 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, those commercials are like for a cup of coffee a day. It's even less than that at this point with, inflation and all. But $1 a month. It's as cheap as we can fucking make it.
That's right.
But, there's lots of bonuses over on there. You can get some stuff that people don't get on the main feed. So, check that out. But
lucky ducks.
For those of you who have been with us from the beginning that are just here for the free shit, totally fine. We get it. And we're going to provide with you today because we're kicking off season 8 with, of course, as we've already previously mentioned it, Aronofsky's Noah.
Mm-hmm. Or I'm sorry, how did you refer to him earlier? Darren
Aronofsky. I shortened it. I don't have time to say his full name every time.
Right.
Motherfucker's talking in shorthand.
But I figured, you know what? Even if it doesn't qualify, it's the last one. Fuck it, let's do it. And so we put this all in off, obviously doing last for that very reason. And I watched it this past month just to figure out, like, does it qualify? Can we really justify doing it for an episode? But tons of different factors like equate it to, let's just fucking do it. So, this puts into perspective that season 9, we're going to have to start something new unless he has a new movie come out, which he does have 3.
Shooting right now.
Yeah. So maybe we'll have one in time. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But until then, we're going to be talking about 2014's Noah. So.
And Dustin, have we talked about why this doesn't qualify for the show for folks who haven't heard our show before?
Oh, yeah, that's a good... Thank you. Actually, I skipped over my notes. So if you never listened to the show and you're just checking
You're doing less work than usual and you're still fucking up.
You're right. I even have it written down here in my notes. Goal of the show. So the goal of the show, our mission statement, is that we like...
Profit.
we like to watch movies that typically, our usual plethora of movies, don't end in happily ever after fashions, and movies that end on bummer endings or confusing endings, cliffhangers, what have you. And we try to find the silver lining at the end of the movie, hence the name of the show. But this one, an argument could be made. Almost everyone on Earth has died.
And we kept fucking up afterwards.
Very true. And also, they make a good point to be like, oh, we got to save the innocents, the animals. But it should be noted that Noah only saves 2 of each, so there are still tons of other animals that are dead.
Presumably all the corpses are just off screen.
Yeah.
None of the animals in this are fucking real anyway. This movie's bullshit.
They're not. Yep.
It's my favorite bit was like, ILM was like, not a single real animal was used in this movie. And I was like, yeah, no shit, because they look like garbage.
Can I tell you my favorite little note about the fact that no real animals are used in this movie? It's from IMDb. It's the trivia section, but I thought this was pretty funny regardless.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
Check this out. So they say, all the animals are sedated and all are seen lying down. An elephant normally only sleeps for about 4 hours a day. If an elephant were to lie on its side for more than a day, the weight of its internal organs would cause them to rupture and fail. So
big same.
So we lost all the elephants because Noah did their homework in this episode. But
definitely the most unrealistic part of the movie was all those elephants laying on their sides.
That's my only gripe. In this episode.
They made them different back then. I don't know what to say.
They were built different. All their organs were on their side. But yeah, so that's the point of the show. Yeah. And I gotta ask, fellas, your first time seeing Noah. So I can say my perspective, I saw it about when it came out, and I feel like most people, I swiftly forgot it even existed.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because somehow this movie made a giant pile of money.
Yeah.
And yet...
his most profitable film.
And I bet if you asked anyone to list all of Aronofsky's movies, they'd either list this one last, or they would completely forget it entirely.
Sure. My fiance thought all week that we were starting the season with Evan Almighty. She got it confused.
Well, God damn it, there goes my pick-me-up right there.
That would have been better.
It might have.
I've never actually seen it. No, no, I almost called you Noah. Nathan,
Yeah.
when was your first time seeing Nar?
The first time I saw Nar, this is the first time I've seen it all the way through. I remember trying to watch it close to when it came out and just being sort of baffled and kind of bored by the whole thing. A feeling that persisted to now when it was an assignment. So there's things about it that I think are fascinating that we'll get into, but it's just... Yeah, it would have been when I was doing like my original Aronofsky deep dive, and it just didn't hit for me.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking movie.
It sure is.
Mally, what about you? When's the first time you saw Noah?
I saw it in theaters. It was boring as fuck then. And then I watched it. Well, I watched half of it yesterday, half of it today, and I folded laundry through the majority of it.
Yeah, that's honestly, yeah.
I would have almost thought that you might like it because I think the log line for this movie should be, what if the Bible had a Silmarillion?
Yeah, I mean, this is really going. This comes out the same year as the last Hobbit movie, and they were Paramount was trying. They were trying to get the.
This is probably better than that, at least.
Yeah. You know what? An argument could be made.
Yeah.
Yeah. JT, have you ever seen Noah?
No.
All right.
I mentioned that earlier when you asked me to be on. I was like, I can definitely be on this episode, but I can't guarantee I will watch it.
Yeah, that's fine. You're not required to. That's not your part of the show.
And it's not that I couldn't watch it.
You just didn't want to.
Yeah.
I think you're okay.
Yeah. No one is holding your feet to the fire about watching Noah.
Here's my biggest issue with this movie.
Uh-huh.
Similar to The Last Jedi.
Here we go.
Oh boy.
It never follows through on its promises.
Sure.
Example?
This movie's like, I'm gonna kill a kid, and then they never fucking do it.
Well,
And that's why this movie is not as good as Face Off.
I will say we never get a full, gender and age breakdown
Sure.
of all the people killed in the city. So there could be some kids definitely in there.
Or a sense of how much time has passed.
I want to see it.
And I did think for like the first 5 minutes, maybe this movie's gonna, I mean, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but maybe this movie's gonna rip because it starts exactly like Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings with like the shadow play recap of creation. And then we see Kane's cities spreading like the beginning of Resident Evil Extinction.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, maybe this is gonna be good. I don't know.
I think what's going to be really fun is knowing I've never seen it, but then hearing you guys rip on it.
Yeah.
And then trying to form my own movie in my head. It's going to be fucking great.
JT, did you know that this is a biblical adaptation that features rock giants with glowing faces?
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
Absolutely it
I
does.
swear to God. Dude, I swear to God. Like, the Watchers are the craziest part of this movie to me.
That sounds like some shit you would make up, though. Like,
It
does.
sure does. It sure fucking does.
Based on the amount of implied incest, it also takes place in fucking Alabama.
Okay.
That's a very good point. I want to
Let's-
jump in a little bit
hey,
early here.
I mean, yeah, the end of this movie is like, thank God we have enough babies.
Hold on.
For both sons.
All right, hang on. Let me simplify this for JT. JT, I'm gonna assume you've seen Breaking Dawn Part 2. So, you know how the werewolf boy imprints on the little baby?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, so there's not even that because the beginning of the movie it says
like Hermione gives birth to twins, and the other two are like dibs.
yeah, they
Oh.
sure fucking do. But like they say Seth's descendants went this way, Cain's descendants went this way. I'm
Yeah.
like, what descendants? They had Adam and Eve had 3 boys.
Yeah.
Where did these other women come from? And then
yeah, think about it, bud.
That's a gap in the Bible, too.
Yeah.
It's a big argument among theologists.
we need a Rogue One-esque side movie for Noah that explains this loose end.
Again, Alabama.
You could have Matt Mickelson in there too. Fuck it, why
Bum,
not?
bum, bam. That would have been amazing, though. Like if the opening crawl ends and then we just hear bum, bum, bam, ba-dum, bum, bam, bum.
All right, so I guess we should break down what exactly is Noah for those who haven't seen it. Like you, JT, I got some info here.
A drunk piece of shit.
So let's get into the info dump for 2014's Noah. Look at that, my boy.
He's a fucking pro.
He's a pro.
This movie's 10 years old.
This movie is a decade old at this point.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I can't believe they didn't do like a big re-release.
Noah 2, Electric Boogaloo.
IMAX, Dolby surround sound.
So, of course, this is Darren Aronofsky's last film as of this recording. We've got a couple more on the way, but we'll see if they pan out for the show, which, fuck it, we'll probably still end up doing them anyway.
By last film, you mean the last one of his we need to cover, right?
Yeah, well, the last feature-length film that, like, qualified.
Didn't Mother come out after this?
It did, but I mean, we've done Mother. My point is it's the last one that we haven't done.
Oh, I
okay.
see. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, he had a couple movies after this one, bud.
Also,
We talked about them.
not to mention The Whale.
Oh, yeah, The Whale.
Yeah.
My favorite movie.
This movie, though, it's incredible who Roger Ebert's website lists first. Anthony Hopkins.
Well, he was the first. Well, he was older.
Yeah, yeah.
Elder statesman.
Medusa or
Yeah, Medusa.
whatever the fuck his name was.
I mean, I get rock hard when I look at Anthony Hopkins. So, Anthony Hopkins, Russell Crowe.
The great Hannibal Lecter, folks.
Douglas Booth gets third billing on Roger Ebert's website. Ray Winstone, Jennifer Connelly, Emma Watson, Logan Lerman, and Kevin Durand. Bet you guys didn't know he was in this fucking movie.
Oh, right. He voices one of the Watchers, doesn't he?
Sure does. Well, him, Nick Nolte, Franklin Jello, like they're all here.
My favorite thing about the Nick Nolte Watcher is that they do not need to edit his voice at all.
Nope,
He's literally
that's
just like,
my
from
note.
hey, Noah, get on board the ark.
That is literally a note I have. It's like they did no alterations to his voice in post. The budget was $125 million. And it grossed $359. That's it. $359 million worldwide.
What the fuck?
$359. Then Aronofsky was shot.
The movie made $43 million alone in its opening weekend, which is more than any of his other films.
Sure.
It is also his first time having a movie open number one at the box office. And shockingly, I thought this was shocking. This was also Russell Crowe's biggest opening weekend ever for a movie that he is the lead actor in.
That's wild.
That is shocking.
Yeah, it's insane, right? The movie's got a 75% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And while it was not nominated for any awards, which I feel like is kind of crazy to me,
Yeah.
I feel like it didn't even get like adapted screenplay or even visual effects.
Well,
Even for like a nomination, like I
Yeah,
feel
okay,
like the
yeah,
visual
sure.
effects are fairly impressive given what they
Some
have
of them.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they?
The animals aren't that great, but there is some great stuff in here.
every time we have to see them walking somewhere, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. Like there are like Attack of the Clones level green screen walking sequences in this movie.
It's certainly a quantity over quality when it comes to like the animals and the crowds.
Sure.
The creation flashbacks are like that fucking snake looks like shit.
That
Yeah.
snake, we see 5 goddamn times the same shot. It's insane. Just for, to discuss it, I did pull up adapted screenplay and visual effects, the nominees of the Oscars that year.
Okay.
So for adapted screenplay, the winner was The Imitation Game, which
Okay.
it's a good movie.
Yeah.
American Sniper, Inherent Vice,
Okay.
good movie. The Theory of Everything, I like.
Okay.
And Whiplash.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like you toss American Sniper and get the fuck out of there.
Sure.
But, it's Clint Eastwood, and who's going to fucking argue with that? Visual effects, the winner, no surprise here, Interstellar.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Other nominees, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which still looks fucking amazing.
Yep.
Agreed.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Okay.
Looks good. Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. And then X-Men, Days of Future Past. So, I mean, all of them are fairly deserved.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why Noah isn't nominated.
I guess.
That's the only reason. Cool. And that's all the info. Look at that.
All right, Excelsior. See you next week. All right.
JT already killed it. First episode in. So before we actually watch the trailer, I did want to discuss the back.
The drink of the film, salt water.
It's just grog, whatever you can fucking find.
It's actually water, but halfway through he's gonna switch to wine.
In the 7th grade, Aronofsky wrote a poem titled The Dove about Noah's Ark. And you can read the poem online. It's pretty short, and I'm not going to read all of it, but I do want to kind of read the last little stanza of it. It's pretty.
That's the most Nathan coded thing any director's ever done.
Evil is hard to end, and peace is hard to begin, but the rainbow and the dove will always live within every man's heart.
That's a fucking Prince lyric.
Yeah.
I kind of fuck with that.
It's pretty good. For a 7th grade poem, not bad.
No.
He started working on the screenplay for this movie after making Pi, all the way back in the 90s.
What kind of pie?
A mathematical one. And
I had it on the tip of my tongue, and I was like, if we keep interrupting Dustin, I swear.
this episode's gonna be 3 hours goddamn long. JT, give him a cheer. Fuck it. Give Melly a cheer for that one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna always tell you what buttons to push, but that one deserved it.
Oh, so you're telling me I have to pander to JT now?
Yeah, this is if you want a cheer or a boo.
Got it. Man, you know who's a good-looking dude? Fucking JT.
This is going about as good as I expected it to go.
Oh, this is gonna be a great season.
Good shit.
He was gonna make this movie after he made Pi, but Hallmark made a movie about Noah instead, so he put this on hold.
Why didn't we watch that one?
That movie, I did. I don't know what movie you guys watch, but that movie has an insane cast. You want to hear?
I looked this up. Yes.
You want to hear who stars in Hallmark's Noah?
Please read it.
Is it also Russell Crowe?
That would be amazing. John Voight.
Boys, I just watched Anaconda 2 days ago. I'm fucking here.
Hell yeah, brother.
He holds you tighter than your true love.
Yes. I've been quoting that for a fucking week.
Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah.
F. Murray Abraham and Carol Kane.
Hell yeah.
I gotta watch this movie.
Wait, which one's Noah?
See, that's a good point. I don't know if it's F. Murray Abraham or John Voight.
It's John Voight plays Noah, and then F. Murray Abraham plays Lot, who puts together a band of pirates to attack the Ark, and it's the reviews compared it to Waterworld.
Guys, I gotta go. I gotta watch this movie right fucking now.
Yeah, no, fuck talking about this one. Just fucking, let's just live watch that.
Just do a live commentary, yeah.
Fucking hell, let's go.
Coming to Patreon, a live watch of Hallmark's Noah.
Jesus.
That sounds better.
So yeah, he goes on to make Requiem instead. A movie no one remembers. And
doing the jerk off motion.
And toils with this screenplay over the years, and then finally gets the go ahead. I don't know what Paramount decided, like, yeah, now we'll do it, but I do know that he did make a graphic novel as a way to like pitch this idea to Paramount.
Yeah.
Which I found and read the first part of 4, and it's basically,
which seems excessive. Like, just make a PowerPoint.
Yeah, that's my point. I mean, you could just also hand someone a Bible.
He did the same thing with The Fountain, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was like, if I can't make this fucking movie, here's the comic book.
Yeah. I mean, I've read it. Or at least the first fourth of it. It's basically just the movie. There are some weird changes. The Watchers aren't rock monsters. They kind of just look like
rock monsters.
They kind of just look like ogres, basically. But
I didn't know you could read.
I looked at the pictures mostly. And yeah, that's about it.
Wait,
so,
they look like ogres?
Yeah,
like Shrek?
Here, I'll pull them up. Not Shrek, but I'll pull up a picture so you guys can see.
Oh wait, small off-season update. I finally watched Shrek for the first time.
First time?
Why now?
My wife made me.
That's a good enough reason. His wife.
First, my wife of the season from Mally.
I know we've been like 20 minutes in. I was like, Nathan hasn't said it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna get one in then.
The insane thing about this graphic novel is that it's drawn just like a normal like superhero comic almost. Like
right.
Noah is like this ripped fucking jacked motherfucker. And here, let me get down.
Wait, is it drawn by Nathan? What's the dude who always does the massive chest, can't do feet?
Oh, Rob Liefeld.
Yep.
I wish.
Here it is. Here they are.
Ah.
Look at that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, look at this.
That is Shrek.
fucking Goro over here.
Yeah, say what you will, this artwork is sick as hell. Man.
It's pretty cool, but it's like, why for Noah?
Why does he look like Thor?
This rips.
Nico Henriken.
Wow.
Which sounds like a Street Fighter move. Henriken!
God damn
All right. Let's watch the trailer, boys.
Tickled me. All right.
What a stellar wig.
Well, I mean, that looks like the comic book.
Yeah, fair point.
Oh, God, that screensaver snake.
Yeah.
That's my favorite shot in the movie. Is
the silhouettes are great.
The sunrise there. Yeah.
My father said that one day, if man continued in his ways, the Creator would annihilate this
Anthony
world.
Hopkins looking like he's one step away from becoming the Crypt Keeper.
He speaks to you. You must trust.
He's got the skullet.
He sure does.
I saw water. Death by water.
I actually remember seeing this trailer and not knowing that it was a Noah movie until the title card and going, what?
That's the reaction you'd have to have.
Survive the storm. They build an ark.
Wait, so you were at this point and you didn't realize it was a Noah movie?
No, never mind. This is not the one I saw.
You saw a teaser, probably.
What do you want? You don't know your king.
The British are coming. The British are coming.
Men at my back, and you stand alone and defy me.
They did Russell Crowe dirty by pairing him with Ray Winstone in so many scenes. Because Ray Winstone is so compelling in this movie.
He really is.
It begins.
It has begun.
When they come, they will be desperate, and there will be many.
They just made it seem like the army of guys were going to fight a bunch of animals.
Yeah.
I'd watch that movie.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool movie.
It's like, I'm not alone. And then all these animals come, and it's like, oh, shit. Okay.
I mean, there is that amazing shot where someone yeets a foal through the air.
Yeah. It's like that goat and apostle Mally where they eat it out of the boat.
Beginning of everything.
The beginning. Batman Begin.
I mean, the trailer
It's pretty good.
looks pretty good.
It's pretty good. Notably missing from these trailer, the rock monsters.
Yeah, that's a good point. I bet the VFX weren't done when they made that trailer. That's fucking why. But you don't even get Nick Nolte's voice. You don't get Frank Langella. You don't get nobody in there.
I'm gonna be honest. The fucking rock monster is one of the things I like about this movie.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
I'm into the idea of it. I think the execution is wild.
Why they decided to make them move like claymation is beyond me.
That's my thing. It's
like
like
them coming down like from the sky.
Oh my god, that third shot.
And like hitting like the fucking ground and getting like that's fucking cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
That concept is great. It's the execution that doesn't carry through for me. They look like they're in Clay Fighter 64.
it just they have like a almost
That was
like
a deep cut.
like a stop motion animation movement to them, and when you put that in this world with real human beings, it just looks odd to me. Like I do like the idea of them, that they are these fallen angels that got encrusted into the earth.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Something about him is it's very uncanny and off-putting. But I just want to show JT these because he hasn't seen the movie. This looks like a screenshot out of like a Transformers movie. Like,
Yeah.
Because they're silhouetted. If you would have told me this is like Bumblebee or something, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, this is from the sequel Noah the Last Night.
With Linkin Park playing in the background. Yeah.
Also starring Anthony Hopkins.
Revenge of the Fallen.
What I done.
All right, so this movie starts with angels falling to earth, which is the Paramount intro.
And it begins with a scroll that reminded me so much of Wishmaster that I kept expecting. Then I kept expecting to hear Russell Crowe say, "Beware the djinn."
I thought Kate Blanchett was gonna start talking.
My whole thing is this movie is over 2 hours long.
Yeah, and I fast forwarded through a solid hour.
I'm not surprised because most of it's just Russell Crowe standing around.
Yeah.
But over a half of the movie, especially the back half, is Russell Crowe going to kill these fucking kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically what the movie is.
And then he doesn't, and I'm pissed off the whole fucking time. That's why Face Off kills a kid immediately.
The flood starts at the hour mark.
Yeah, the flood starts at the hour mark, and you're like, why do we still have another hour to go?
Right.
But if you want to trim some of this up, we get this recapped near the end of the movie, and it looks way better.
I know.
Just cut this out.
Yeah, we even use some of the same footage from the beginning. It's crazy.
Oh, we used that snake. We got every fucking dollar's worth of that snake. Yeah. I mean, we get the reveal of what the Watchers look like a minute and a half into this movie, and I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna. I forgot that's what they looked like before I rewatched this, and that was quite a shock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we get introduced to little Noah, who is with his dad, and they're the last descendants of Seth, who is the good son, and then you've got the dead son, who's Abel, and you got the bad son, who is Cain.
So the two remaining sons are basically Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood.
And not a cheer for that one. You know what? I'll give it to him. JT's asleep at the wheel.
Culkin or Wood.
So they're planting, or they're not planting, they're gathering for materials in this barren wasteland. And I gotta say, most of this movie is just nothing on screen but people. There's no trees, there's barely any rocks, and it still somehow looks pretty good.
But also there's constant references to like Noah values life so much that he won't I'm like, At some point, I was like, when do you eat and what do you eat?
Yeah.
And how are you still alive?
In the comic, they make it, I'm not going to do this every time, but
Oh,
in the
please.
comic, they do make it a little bit.
It sounds like my other podcast.
They do make it a little more like they eat when they're hungry.
Okay.
But in this movie, fucking, it's Ham, right?
So do I,
It's,
and that's why I look like this.
it's little Ham, right?
Little ham, yeah.
Little bacon, little swine.
ham.
He picks the tiniest little like dandelion, almost little daisy flower off the ground.
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe's like, you fucking better put that shit back right the fuck now.
Yeah, he's like, they find a dead animal, and he's like, we're not eating it, but we will burn it.
Yes, yeah. We'll let it die, and then we will not eat it. Yeah, it's weird. They're gathering for stuff, and then, you know, Ray Winstone, who's looking much younger and fitter, comes in
Yeah.
and kills Noah's dad. Little Noah runs off. I mean, this sounds like every, like, beginning to a Disney classic almost. This is like Bambi.
Totally.
He runs off. And then this begins one of many times where we get a flash forward, but we have no idea how much time has passed.
No.
Or anything like that, because now we get introduced to Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, who values all life, unless you attack him, and then he will fucking murder you.
He'll go Jason Bourne on you, or like
I
John
wrote
Wick.
he goes apostle on these guys with a bow staff.
And I mean, look, if you grow up and you get to marry Jennifer Connelly, you wanted life even before God picks you as like the sole surviving family of this world.
Right. Absolutely. Jennifer Connelly, who I will throw out right now as the MVP of this film.
Man.
Her or Ray Winstone.
Jennifer Connelly, I feel like, is kind of asleep at the wheel for the first hour of the movie.
Oh, I agree.
Because she doesn't get to do anything, but
Right.
that's the script's fault, not her fault. But
Yeah, I think she comes alive in that second half, though. And I maybe this is a hot take. I think Russell Crowe is not good in this.
yeah.
He has a couple of moments.
Well, this is, you know, I was looking up, like, did this fall in his filmography? And
Right.
so, for those who don't know, Russell Crowe turned down playing Aragorn in The Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes on to then make A Beautiful Mind. And while this isn't the equivalent, I would say, to a sword and sandals fantasy adventure like Lord of the Rings, it does sort of feel like Crowe saying, you know, I did Gladiator, which had the sword and sandals. Now I kind of want to do this kind of fantastical thing. And he's come out and said, I don't regret not taking Aragorn because Peter Jackson, when I talked to him on the phone, he was not talking to me like a director would be talking to me. He was talking to me like he was a representative of a studio.
Yeah.
Like here, it wasn't really his vision, quote unquote.
But that's also very in line with the way Russell Crowe talks about his own craft.
Of course.
Like he's very famously is just like, you know, Gladiator is bullshit, but I'm the greatest actor in the world, so I made that speech work. Like there's like, he literally said that.
Yeah. He's like, I can't sing, but goddamn it, I'm going to sing in Les Mis. He also does this movie right after his brief part in Man of Steel, and right before he does The Nice Guys, which I feel like when he does that is when everyone's like, oh, wait, yeah, Russell Crowe, good actor. Yeah, forgot.
Well, Russell Crowe, I think, has figured out that he is a very strong character actor who has been playing at being a leading man for the first chunk of his career. I'm so here for elder statesman, pops in for like a supporting role, Russell Crowe, or taking weird swings with offbeat movies. Like the Nice Guys was like truly unlocked the second phase of his career, I think.
And also, he does this right after the failure that is Winter's Tale, which is also fantastical in nature. So, like,
I forgot about that movie.
Me too. That's the one with Will Smith as the devil.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Akiva Goldsman movie.
Speaking of some weird imprinting in that movie too, with Colin Farrell.
Wow, I barely remember it. Yeah.
I only know of it. I've never seen it. I've only heard other podcasts talk about it, and I feel like I know the story. And I'm like, that's a fucking weird movie, man.
Should we do it for our show? Would it work?
I'd have to look up the ending. I think it does qualify though.
Okay.
I have to check though.
All right, we still got a couple empty slots.
We sure do. And also a little sneak peek. I don't know if it's just where our headspaces are this season, but it's pretty much exclusively horror movies and somehow comic book movies.
Yeah.
Like it's only those two things that we're doing this season.
We want to escape and we want to die.
Yep. So we get this first little vision that Noah has that's quote unquote from God, which we never say in this movie.
Right.
It's important to know. We only say the creator or he.
Which really pissed off fundamentalist Christians when this movie came out.
Well, lots of things pissed them off about this movie.
Yeah. Evolution as a concept.
I thought it was funny that I was looking up like where were the Watchers in the original part of the Bible, where all these different side characters. Emma Watson seems to be the main one that is whole cloth created for the story.
Yeah, the Watchers seem to be inspired by the Nephilim from like the Book of Enoch and like some of the other like apocryphal stuff.
Which is funny because when you look up the Book of Enoch and you're like, some people don't consider this to be canon. I'm like, we're talking about religious history.
Yeah.
And it's not canon. That was the weird offshoot years. We had to sell the rights to the Bible before we could buy them back.
Yeah, that was when Mattel owned the rights for a little while. And then...
They were sort of doing their own thing.
Well, I mean, thank God George Lucas made the merchandise deal he did.
Absolutely.
I got my Jesus lunchbox. You know, I got my Noah toys. I got Noah's Ark that is, you could unfold it and there's pieces inside.
When Jerry Lewis dies, we'll finally get The Day the Nephilim Cried released in theaters.
The Day Job Cried. I'm trying to think as many connections to the Bible as I can. But yeah, no, he gets his first vision, and I do gotta say the dream stuff, the visuals of it are so fucking striking.
Yeah, I agree.
Noah underwater, surrounded by all these dead bodies. It's fucking great. It looks amazing, even though they run it back like 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Oh, they victory lap a number of shots.
They sure
for
do.
sure. I felt to the point where I felt like that was the stuff Aronofsky was most interested in. Like, as silly as some of those VFX shots look in the creation recap that we get in the middle of the movie, that's the part of the movie that has the most juice to me in terms of like, this feels like a singular Aronofsky concept.
Well, his whole pitch for this movie was, he's like, I find Noah fascinating because someone that goes through that would have to have an intense amount of survivor's guilt, right?
Right.
Which I feel like he kind of does in that back half, which is the more interesting part of the movie.
Agreed.
You know? But, you know, he has this vision. He tells his wife, I got to go see my grandfather, Methuselah. So he traverses, you know, with his family across this barren wasteland. And I'm getting, Nathan, I know you probably felt this too. I got real heavy Death Stranding vibes.
Oh, sure.
Russell Crowe's got his hood up. He's got his cargo on his back and he's going through a crater.
Yeah.
That's this old mine.
There's the bit where he wears like the weasel cap so he can swim faster.
He puts up the zip line in between his house and Methuselah's.
At some point, I thought he was only there for the zip line, honestly.
Dude, I gotta say, the zip line to Death Stranding was the best. That's all I cared to do. I built as many zip would fucking let me do, and I was just zip zapping through my fucking way through that game.
Love it.
I just needed Churches or Low Roar to start playing.
see what this part reminded me of was when they wake up in that canyon. All I was thinking of was Resident Evil 4, and I was like, I hope Noah saved that dog from the bear trap earlier. They're gonna be in real trouble.
Or I hope he's got a rocket launcher that he begged off the merchant. But no, we get introduced to the Watchers, and it's a strike. We've already get a glimpse of them in the intro, but it is just striking to see them for the first time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Noah's going through this mine. They find little Emma Watson, who's on the verge of dying. And somehow Jennifer Connelly got her PhD or MD or something real quick, because she's like, she'll never have kids.
Look at this. Can you see this shit?
All right. But they get chased by Kane's men, and they go through the forbidden area, basically, where they run into a Watcher that knocks Russell Crowe out, and they wake up at the bottom of this pit.
That Foley sound of him hit his head hitting the rock, and then everything cuts out. It really got me.
It's like when Chuck hits his head in Better Call Saul. I was like, I felt that shit, man.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ. Someone hits their head pretty hard in next week's episode too.
Boy.
I don't think you've seen it yet, but
no, I'm watching it tonight. Thanks.
Oh boy. So JT, I just want to do a little quick check-in. Are you keeping up with the story here? Is this just grabbing your attention?
I'm trying.
All right, that's all we can ask.
They're gonna go visit Methuselah.
Methuselah, yeah.
And Fallen bumped his head. Now someone can't have babies. It's yeah.
Yep, that's about right.
Methuselah can't have children. It's
JT,
yeah.
you look good, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
If you thought Methuselah didn't fire a Kamehameha wave with a flaming sword in this movie.
Wait, what?
So,
he basically comes in like Zeus at the beginning of Justice League.
Everybody's trying to explain Methuselah. Hold on. We need one. Mallory, go ahead. Explain Methuselah to JT.
No, pull the fucking clip.
Oh, you want me to pull it up?
I cannot describe this fucking majesticness.
So remember that Russell Crowe Noah is like the last descendant besides his offspring.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe. God damn it. He's the last.
Wasn't that the island in the X-Men comics?
Hold on. I'll step in for you. Don't worry.
That one was just for Nathan.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I liked it.
What do you mean? You have control of the... Never mind.
I do. But when I notice you're easing up on the gas, I'm gonna push forward. So,
no, we don't trust you that much.
Russell Crowe,
I ain't got there yet.
he's still training. This is his first day. He starts telling the Watchers about his grandfather and Methuselah.
You guys know him. He's so old.
He's so old. But he starts talking about Methuselah. The Watchers are explaining this is why we look this way. We're fallen angels that tried to help man, and because we helped man, the Creator kicked us out of heaven.
Yeah.
When we landed on Earth, we became encrusted.
We got too much shit on us.
Here, we had too much fucking shit on us.
We didn't land on Earth. Earth landed on us.
and Will Smith shows up and says, "Welcome to Earth."
Yeah.
He punches Og right in the fucking face. They become these rock monsters, and Methuselah was the only human that wanted to protect them because all of the other men on Earth were like, well, fuck it. We're going to kill these fucking things. I mean, look at them. You got to fucking kill them.
Right.
And so Methuselah comes out in this flashback in this story that he's telling them. And you just got to see this shit. So I'm not going to explain the little explosions that are going on just yet.
Play the clip.
Look at this.
Oh my God. This is like the Snyder cut.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Of Noah.
Darkseid has arrived.
It's crazy that like that never comes back, that he had a fucking flaming sword.
Where was this in the Bible?
Right? It's like when Captain Marvel could have stepped in during Endgame at any fucking point and
Right.
just didn't because she was off doing her own fucking thing.
Oh, that shot looks terrible.
It's awful. I'll just leave this running over here so you guys can see. But
Please don't.
So that flaming sword would have been super fucking helpful for the rest of the story. But,
Yeah.
So yeah, he tells them, the Watchers, this, and one Watcher in particular, I can't remember the name.
Nick Nolte.
Sauvignon Blanc or whatever the fuck his name.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah. Versace, I don't know what his name is, but he says he'll help them. He believes them.
Yeah.
So he helps them traverse over to Methuselah's hut.
Isn't his name like Suzuka or something?
It's
Like
a Suzuki hybrid. I don't know. Subaru Outback. I don't know. I don't remember his name entirely.
Subaru Outback.
But
It's another Street Fighter movie.
yeah.
No, Subaru Outback was that character from Old.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You're right. But yeah, so they finally make it there. Russell Crowe goes up to see Anthony Hopkins, Methuselah, who is old as dirt.
The late great Hannibal Lecter.
I mean, at this point, fuck explaining it. Just let JT watch the movie. Fuck. I mean, it's just playing right here.
Well, and there are moments where, like, so Methuselah puts Noah's kid to sleep, and Noah's reaction is basically like, huh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So Methuselah has godlike powers in this movie.
He has make you fertile touch. Like, he has the, weirdest.
Hey, if Anthony Hopkins touched me on my belly, I'd be pretty fertile too. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that. But
But he's old. He can't do anything.
Yeah.
That's the excuse.
Yeah.
I would, but I can't. I'm old.
Would y'all shut the fuck up? I'm trying to watch this.
That is pretty much what happens. Is Anthony Hopkins is like, I know a lot of shit's going on. I'm too fucking old to be bothered by it. So
the bit where they show up and he's just laying down on the ground made me laugh so hard.
it's so fucking funny. So he goes out, he tells Russell Crowe tells Anthony Hopkins, I had this vision.
Yeah.
The creator's going to destroy the earth with water.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know really what it means yet, but like, or why he told me.
I love that he's like, my dad said it was going to be fire.
Yeah, that's true. Anthony Hopkins is like, thought it'd be fire. Well, then he says something like, fire destroys everything, water cleanses, which is why it's water and not a giant fire. But and then for some reason, Anthony Hopkins roofies him.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Also, he doesn't know science because that's not technically true, idiot.
I know. So he like gives him this herbal tea,
Yeah.
and then Noah has another vision, which is pretty much the same as the first vision, except now instead of dead bodies all around him, it's all the animals rising up to the surface of the water, and he sees the outline of the ark.
Yes.
And he's like, I got it. I know what I got to do now.
And what I love about this arc is that, you know, every drawing we've ever seen of Noah's Ark is like a boat. But the thing is, the thing does not have to fucking sail.
Yeah.
It just has to float.
It's actually a pretty good change to like the envision you have of the ark.
I do. Yeah, I love it.
You always imagine that rounded bottom, but it's like, well, we don't have to, we just literally have to sit there.
I sure do.
Yeah. you imagine Russell Crowe's rounded bottom.
But this,
I like that shit to be flat and square.
for all the things this movie leaves open to interpretation, it's so funny when the movie is like, no, I have to spell this out. When Anthony Hopkins hands him a seed and he says, it's a seed from the first garden from Eden.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, Methuselah, I get it.
Well, here's where I would have fucked this up right away. Because I would have thought, okay, so the seed I'm supposed to plant after everything is destroyed by the water.
Right. I didn't think it was a make rain seed.
It was a Minecraft, like, New World pod, right? Or like... And so, like, he comes down from this mountain and he tells Jennifer Connelly what's up. And I know the alternative is not great, but if I'm Jennifer Connelly and my husband comes down from a mountain, having met with his grandfather, and he says, God is going to destroy this earth, and I have to build a giant boat and save all the animals. The thought has to cross my mind at one point of like, I didn't sign up for this.
She has to do everything with the facial expressions because this movie refuses to give her dialogue until like the hour 20-minute mark.
She looks every shot of her is like that meme of the woman doing algebra in her head, and it's just like the numbers floating around. She looks really confused the whole time.
Yeah.
But then they go to sleep, and then they wake up the next morning, and they're pulling a Full Metal Jacket where on the Watcher that helped Noah get to Methuselah's house, they're putting soap in bags and just beating the shit out of him in pillowcases.
Yeah.
And they're like, this guy is defying us. He's not supposed to help you. And Noah asks the rest of the Watchers, well, you guys help me. Look, the creator gave me this mission. I need your help. And they're like, why should we help you?
Yeah.
He almost gets the absolute shit rocked out of him. But he did plant this seed, and a geyser of water just burst out of it at that very second and creates a stream of water that just runs throughout the barren wasteland and creates these branches off rivers and streams and everything.
And a forest comes out of nowhere.
A literal forest just blew. The best part is, the whole time this is happening, Little Ham is in the tent. Little Ham's in the tent.
Yeah.
And he comes out and he sees all these trees and water and everything that was not there before. And he goes, what happened? What's this?
What is this?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
And Noah says, this is our ark.
Yeah.
Like he's going to say, motherfucker.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the montage of the water running through the valley is great.
I guess.
I agree. Yes.
They do it a couple of different times throughout the movie where they do like individual images that then play right next to each other of like the water going down, the shrubbery blooming, the animals coming to drink the water. It really helps to differentiate the rest of the look of this movie, especially when it comes to the visual effects stuff.
Right.
Because a lot of it's silhouette.
Yeah.
A lot of the visual effects stuff is just, let's put people behind a sunset or whatever. Or it's like this where, you know, it's
Dumbledore with the Inferi.
It's just like, this is my screensaver. This is my screensaver right here. Jesus Christ.
It's an ark! Like, that's what that shot looks like.
We flash forward indiscriminate amount of time, and we know that because Russell Crowe had shaved off his glorious wig, his glorious long hair.
And now Shim and Ela are teenagers, and they're ready to wrestle.
Dude, Shin, who is played by Douglas Booth, is fucking hot. This kid looks so goddamn good.
And truly the energy of this sequence is, stepbrother, why did you chase me into the forest?
Yeah, yes, it really is. Here, I'm going to fast forward a little bit just so JT could see what Douglas Booth looks like in this movie. JT, look how hot this kid is. Don't take that out of context.
I didn't like that.
He's an adult.
Don't take this out of... Look at this guy.
You trying to convince me that a dude's hot?
He looks like he's being rendered in real time.
Don't take that out of context, audience. Anyway.
Oh my God.
How old is he supposed to be there? 12?
Yeah. Hey man, with a full beard.
He looks like he's starring in the young Andrew WK Chronicles.
Yo. Well, you know, the fun fact is he played Nicky Six in The Dirt.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that? Because I had to look him up to see what else he was in.
That's it. That's the same dude.
That's the same guy. That's him.
Oh, boy.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
So you know ILM must have fucking hated Aronofsky making this movie.
Yeah.
Because this is where we get an introduction to the birds. They're the first ones into the ark.
Yeah.
And they said they had to animate each individual animal. And because they didn't have real animals to work off of, they had to create kind of like each species as like its own,
slightly adjacent to what we know, which is why we get like a pig with armor scales.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that explains also too why the fluidity of their movements isn't as good as it could be. You know what I mean? That's why it's a little jagged at times. But also, I think it's interesting, and this will come back up in the last half of the movie, but there's also animals that I just don't recognize.
Totally.
As like, what the fuck are those? And that kind of gets explained later on in one of the funniest fucking ways possible.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So they smoke out a woodpecker.
Dude, they hotbox this fucking ark. And this is what they do, JT. They're like, okay, well, all these animals can't be awake and, just in here, because otherwise these birds would be shitting fucking everywhere. So they put them all to sleep with this gas, and instantaneously they fall asleep.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what is the sorcery in this movie with being able to put things to sleep immediately? Because I fucking need it.
Magic incense.
Yeah. They're walking down these rows of, like, in the arc where the birds are, and they're just like, it's like the beginning of the Helena music video. They're just swooping the gas to and fro. And I'm like, man, I got insomnia at times. I need this shit. I need this right away.
I do want to, just before we get too far, I do want to note that while Shem and Ela were wrestling in the woods, Ham is very much like Denny in the room because he just likes to watch you guys.
Yep, we got little Logan Lerman over there, Triple L, just peeking.
She doesn't have anyone.
But to that point, I think Ham brings up a pretty good fucking point.
Yeah.
He goes to Noah and he's like, hey, man.
I want to be a man so bad.
I'm so horny. I need someone. Yeah. He goes up to him. He's like, look, Emma Watson and Douglas Booth are a couple. You have Jennifer Connelly. I got fucking nobody.
I am not letting this kid get anywhere near a bunch of sleeping animals. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, boy. Boy. Well, he is on a boat, so there you go.
Motherfucker. He's out in international waters.
That was like 3 layers deep. Yeah. Jesus Christ. But he's got a good point. He says, I'm basically destined to just straight up die alone after this storm.
Yeah.
And I think Noah's dismissal of Ham's need is a good point to what Crowe was talking about when he discusses this movie.
Yeah.
Which is, he says, Noah is not a traditional good guy.
Right.
And even if he is, he's fallible and complex, just like every other human being. And I mean, the final act of that is that idea in a microcosm.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
His job is literally to let everyone else die. But he's not really being forthcoming with that. Yeah. And so we get this sequence that's kind of funny out of context where Ham's like, you have mother, what about me? And Noah basically is just like, I said we have what we need.
Oh, God. I also don't like any implications that can be derived from that either.
No.
Well, and it's also a weird, they added implied incest because in the Bible, they have lady friends.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. I should have asked. I mean, this Bible, you guys read it? You heard about this book?
Yeah, it's been a minute, but yes, I have.
Yeah, I've read it. JT, how about you?
I thumbed through it.
Bro, you got to.
Dude, you got to.
You got the Cliff Notes.
I read the back.
You got the Cliff Notes of it.
Then we hear women laughing in the woods, and Ham basically goes, girls!
He kind of spits up a little bit. Well, this is where we get introduced to Ray Winstone as Tubble Cain, who fucking rules.
We're supposed to root against this guy, but he is genuinely the most compelling performance in the film. Ray Winstone just rules.
45 minutes into the movie, we get introduced to him. But he talks to Ham, and he's like, hey, don't you know who I am? I'm your fucking king. I rule these lands.
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah. And Ham leads him back to Noah's Ark, and that's where, Noah finally gets to see the grown-up version of the man that killed his father at the beginning of the movie.
Which he recognizes because Tubal Cain starts to give this speech that's basically his version of Have You Ever Danced with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight?
I mean, he sees the Ark, and Noah explains because he's got a huge crowd with him. He explains to Tubal Cain's men, he's like, a flood's coming. You all have been judged. You're all pieces of shit. Even babies know it. And they're like, he's like, the floods are coming. You all need to just, repent, get good what you can now. Get right with God.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tubal Cain's like, well, we'll be back. Why he doesn't kill Noah right here, right now, I don't know. The Watchers. That's right.
Because the Watchers bow up at him, and
That's
he's like,
right.
oh, okay, you got some rock guys. That's interesting.
Yeah, he's like, you got some rock monsters.
Rock monsters. And also, how many times are we going to pull the camera back to see 1,000 CGI animals approach?
Because
4. I think you're right. I think that is how many.
They're in the woods, and all the bears and the 4-legged animals start making their way to the Ark as well, and they hold up in there.
Yeah.
And Ham is like, I gotta find me one of these ladies. I gotta get me one of them.
Yeah.
And he goes into the village, and Russell Crowe, he goes back into the village as well.
Yeah. Russell Crowe goes to some kind of refugee camp that we've not seen before that is massive.
Yeah.
And I was so convinced that this was a vision until he comes back like, I just saw the most fucked up shit. I can't even deal with this.
Well, the thing is, it is kind of a vision because he sees himself as like a good parable to like, I could be just like these people. Right. I am just like these people. So I want to get to that part in just a second, but Ham goes into there and, you know, we're seeing that like this whole city is famished. They're literally ripping babies away from women that just gave birth to them so they could eat the babies.
Yeah, finally something cool's happening in this fucking movie.
There's people trading their children to like get meat and stuff like that.
Again, I did not expect to see someone throw like a calf through the air.
Dude, my note is Aronofsky must really love seeing a ruckus crowd just rip a living thing apart because I'm thinking about the baby and mother as well. Like he loves watching that lamb, that goat, whatever it is, getting pulled apart while it's still alive was visceral.
Yeah.
That shit hit hard. And Ham falls into a mass grave where he meets this other girl, Nall, in I believe apostrophe A-L. Nall.
Now. Get out now.
Yeah. She's been thrown into the pit to die, and Ham gives her some food. And
they have a meet cute in a mass grave.
They sure do. But here's what I like. I like that Noah goes to this village. He sees all the crazy shit that's going on here. He sees himself in a vision of like eating this meat from this lamb that got ripped apart.
Right.
And he goes back and tells Jennifer Connelly what he saw. And I actually do like that when he comes back, he has this realization that he is no better than them. I think that's good character development. Even if he does begin self-flagellating and only detailing the bad traits about his wife and kids.
But I do, and I do like this idea where he's like, look, I've figured out that the mission is now let everyone die.
Yeah.
But I find so much of Crowe's performance to be very one note, aside from a few moments towards the end of the movie. I just feel like he's just stoic the whole time.
Yeah.
Also, he says the scariest thing that I could ever imagine when he comes back to camp and says, there will be no wives.
Yeah.
I love my wife.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, I guess we kind of put, I love my wife too. I guess we kind of put, Ham's a little adventure a little earlier because when he Russell Crowe goes into the village to find wives,
right?
And he comes back after he sees all this shit, and he tells Ham, he's like, "There will be no wives."
And Ham's like, "I'm gonna get a wife."
He's like, "I swear to fucking God, I'll get me one of them women."
Yeah.
And so, bravo.
Oh, well done.
That is again, audience. That's not me, by the way. But he is right that like they all are fallible. I mean, that's the whole fucking point. But I mean, he is a man and therefore capable of bad things. But before then, he seemed to think better of himself because he was a descendant of like Seth.
Right. And he only takes what the Lord provides. He doesn't ask for more. And he was very proud of himself.
So I guess up to this point, they just thought, oh, we'll get as many animals as we can on the ark. But I guess he never thought about the other people, which is kind of crazy to not even consider that. But yeah, that's when Jennifer Connelly finds out that like, oh, he plans to just let all these people die.
Yeah. She has that great line where she says, they are our children, Noah.
Yeah. And I think if you had to put a fine point on it, Ham's story in general is about a guy who's just so fucking horny that he can't stand it. And he's willing to literally drag a woman out of a mass grave.
Ham is cheesed.
Oh, man. He's like, I'm going to get a bride one way or another. I'm going to drag her out of a mass grave.
And Connelly, meanwhile, goes to meet Methuselah, whose whole vibe is, so what have you been up to? You plant that seed or like what's going on over
What's going on with you?
I was just laying here on the ground.
It is funny that she goes up to the mountain and anything Hopkins is just chilling. He's like, my back's got this weird thing. This is the only way it feels better. But then Methuselah, she comes back after finding out what the plan is, and she comes back and Emma Watson runs out into the woods. And Anthony Hopkins is there looking for berries.
Yeah.
Because when he saw, was it young?
Shem. Earlier, yeah.
Yeah. He said, what do you like most about the world? I want to be like, dude, there's fucking nothing in this world. What do you mean?
Right.
But he says, I like berries. And Methuselah says, oh, well, I like berries too.
You're right. Berries are good as fuck.
Yeah, dude, a good sangria. I fucking love it. Then he's like, you know, I can't remember what berries taste like. So we find him in the forest looking for berries. JT, are you keeping up with any of this shit, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. So remember, Emma Watson is infertile.
I fell asleep for like 5 minutes. Where are we?
Berries. We're at the berries.
We're at the part where Methuselah makes Emma Watson's womb reheal itself.
He touches her stomach and she runs immediately, just like takes off.
Wait.
She's like, I gotta fuck right now.
Before that, the fucking happening starts occurring.
Oh, sure.
He touches her belly. The wind starts blowing. She runs maybe 100 feet to the distance, and she runs into Douglas Booth, and they fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Anthony Hopkins is right there, still looking for Barry.
I can hear you.
I'm not gonna use the sound effects again.
No, go ahead, play as much as your heart's content. Go for it, buddy. But this is what I mean. This movie is odd.
Yeah.
This movie is so fucking weird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, an hour in, yes.
And why doesn't Methuselah, if he's able to literally heal the infertile and put people to sleep instantly and had a flaming sword, why doesn't he help out more?
And is it just because he's old he can do that? Or is this like a Lucy scenario where he's using more, all of his brain capacity?
Oh, he eats the berry, and that's what unlocks the other 90%.
That's right.
Well, wait, Nathan, how old are you?
Old enough to party. I actually had to think about it. 36.
Oh, okay. Well, just wait. When you turn 40, the things you can do, bud.
Oh, boy. Stay tuned, listeners.
You're going to be making everyone fertile. Walking down the street, touching bellies. Just babies dropping on the sidewalk.
He just healed her belly. Look how quickly she runs. She's like, I gotta fuck.
You can go now. Go to him. And she goes,
It's like the end of a rom-com.
A woman just knows.
So let's see how far away roughly she is from Anthony Hopkins right here.
So if we calculate the speed at which he travels and the distance,
that's about 100 feet, right?
Methuselah is right behind that tree.
Yeah. I'm going to say like 20 feet.
Yeah, he's pretty close. Anyway.
I needed more jump cuts of her running to
I know.
be convinced that he's not right there.
Yeah. So let's cut back over to what Ham's doing. So the rain starts to fall, right?
And if I were Noah and I just struggled to close that door and I turn around and there's 12 rock monsters behind me not helping, I'd be so mad.
So the rain starts to fall. Ham realizes what that means. Tubble-Cain realizes what that means. Everybody figures out, oh shit, the flood started.
Yeah.
He drags this girl out of this mass grave. Tubble-Cain suddenly, for some reason, has a flare gun. I don't know why.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he literally picks up a flare gun.
And it's supposed to be, the land that Noah's dad was foraging through at the beginning had this weird, I don't know what you'd call them, diamond things in the ground.
They refer to, I can't remember what they call it, but yeah, there's like a weird gold that seems to be used for multiple things in the movie.
And somehow that's going to be very useful as an ammunition in just a little bit. But yeah, Ham takes Null out of this mass grave. They run back to the Ark. But earlier we saw that Tubble-Cain's men were booby trapping the forest in between the Ark and where their village is.
Yeah, because of the wet bandits.
Yep, this poor girl, because Tubble-Cain says, we're taking the Ark. We're going to kill Noah. We're going to take the Ark. We'll have all these animals to eat. We'll be good.
Just me and my boys.
They're running back through the woods. That girl steps right in this fucking bear trap.
She does.
And she's like, please help me. Ham tries. He can't help her. Russell Crowe sprints in with this very heroic shot, takes Ham, throws him towards the Ark, and tries to take this bear trap out over this girl's leg. Now remember, this girl was left for dead in a mass grave.
Right.
Ham only dragged her out because he wanted a wife.
Right. And he's like, I love you.
Yes.
I love you now and you are for me.
And Russell Crowe tries to save her. And then he's like, oh, you're on your fucking own. And then takes off running. And then they trample this girl to death.
He does not try to save
No,
her.
he doesn't.
He looks at her for 2 seconds and then she gets stomped.
Yep.
And the sound design is like squish, crunch.
Right.
And I'm like, you would think the implication is, okay, Russell Crowe doesn't want the people to get to him because then they're going to kill him, right?
Right.
You think that's why he doesn't save her because he doesn't have enough time.
Right.
Then he's just in the crowd of people and they're not hurting him at all.
Nope, they just want to get on the Ark.
Yep.
Them and their aluminum siding that they've brought with them.
And they could have He could have saved this girl is my whole fucking point.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's also like, this might be the worst death, I think, in one of Aronofsky's movies, because that girl getting stomped to death was brutal to me.
It's pretty rough.
It's a little rough.
And then you gotta say, if you're gonna say one thing about Tubble Cain, you gotta say this. He ain't no bitch. He's right there in the crowd fighting alongside his men.
Absolutely.
He takes his flare gun, and then this is where we get an insane bit of very vital information that we could have used before. And JT, I don't know if you remember that flashback scene in Methuselah with the flaming sword, but there were these weird explosions happening in the crowd. It turns out that these angels, that if you, they're basically like video game characters. They have these weak points, and if you stab them in the weak point, they fucking explode.
Yeah, they explode, and although in the previous scene there was just like a burst of light, but here they're actually returning to heaven, and so all of them just start suicide bombing this army.
So the idea
they're
is,
like, oh good, we get to go to heaven.
I'd be like, shit, give me that gun.
So the idea is, remember, they're fallen angels that defied God.
Yeah.
They got their punishment was to be encrusted on this earth forever.
Yeah.
And so when Tubble Cain stabs this one in the fucking heart, it says, forgive me, my creator.
Yeah.
It explodes, and you see a silhouette of an angel just ascend to heaven.
Oh my god, the one shot of like the angel's face just like gawking at the camera made me laugh really hard.
It's like and This Is the End, when someone is forgiven and they just ascend to heaven right then.
Yeah.
And then once the other watchers realize that, they're like, oh shit, that's all we had to do this whole time? And there's one that's the hero watcher to me. He just rips his own fucking chest open.
That one, yeah, that's Og, isn't it?
It might be Og. Yeah, it might be Og. God damn, it's a suicide bomber. It's so fucking gnarly. And then the best part is when he's the last watcher to commit seppuku, basically, it follows him up out of the earth, and it shows you a wide shot of the earth, and it's just all hurricanes.
All hurricanes.
That shot terrified me. I think that's legitimately well done.
Nathan was like, oh, I've had this nightmare.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah.
And the music drops out right there, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good moment. But then Oppenheimer's looking at the raindrops. That's what it is. But then we get one last moment with Methuselah, because Anthony Hopkins finally finds a single berry and goes full Alicia Silverstone. Doesn't know what it is, just eats it. We never hear from him again. He's the flood comes in, washes him away.
Are we sure it was berries?
He just going swimming.
And yeah, man, Noah, the flood happens.
Does it?
It sure does.
And there's a bunch of people on the outside of the ark and then clinging to the top of the mountain screaming. And the sound design here is legitimately haunting.
The shot of all those people on the little precipice of like a little crevice of rock.
Yeah.
It should be noted, there is still an hour left of this fucking movie.
Yep, there's an hour.
And Jennifer Connelly suggests, Ela suggests dragging ropes for the people outside. And like, can you fucking imagine just hanging onto the side of this thing for like 40 days?
The funny thing is, Noah's like, I don't know how many fucking times I gotta tell you, we're all fucking dying tonight. We're going to hell tonight. Everybody gather around. I'm gonna tell you the story of Genesis now.
Which is stupid, because he's like, I've told all of you this story. But I'm gonna tell you again.
You could cut so much of the runtime of this movie down. Even though this is genuinely beautiful.
Yeah, it is, but it is also the sequence where I wrote, CGI Terrence Malick Tree of Life happening.
I mean, before this though, I do like the shot of Noah just sitting alone in the dark and hearing all the people screaming outside.
Yes,
it's pretty fucking
really
brutal.
effective.
Here, let me see if I can show JT the shot at least of all the people.
Did that scene just remind you of living in Los Angeles?
Absolutely. Trying to see if I can find just that shot for JT so we can see it.
That's awful.
So you just like skipping through this movie is exactly how I watched it this morning.
You could, again, cut this down to about an hour and get the full story. So
my other favorite part of the creation story here is him talking basically about violence and the cycle of violence through history. And it reminded me of Nick Cave's rejected Gladiator 2 screenplay.
Speaking of
Russell Crowe.
Or the intro to X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah.
Better movie. No, I can't say that much.
Honestly?
I think this whole thing is fucking amazing. Yeah, that shot's fucking crazy.
Oh, X-Men Origins, another movie featuring Kevin Durand.
Yeah.
A thankless role.
I do find it odd, though, that the message of this movie is only people from the same bloodline as Noah and who he specifically chooses to join his family are worth being saved. It's a little creaky hand eugenics going on here, you know what I mean?
I mean, that's the original story.
And there's not a single ounce of melanin in this movie. No one of that's not white is featured in this movie, I gotta say.
That's the Bible, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Bless up, big bless.
And this is where the movie gets fucking crazy, because the last hour is like Noah going, you know what? I was wrong. God doesn't want us to survive either. We're all doomed. And if Emma Watson gives birth to a girl, I swear to fucking God, I'm going to snuff that fucking baby out immediately.
I know.
And
little does he know she's having twins.
Doesn't follow through on their promise.
It is bizarre that Paramount read this part of the script and was like, no, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to edge killing babies for the next hour.
Which, like, if they wanted to, they truly could have added 15 minutes to the battle and done a slightly more traditional Noah's Ark movie.
Yeah. I mean, this is the interesting part of the movie, but it is crazy that it's in this movie.
Yes.
And it's, Tubal Cain, we find out, has snuck aboard the Ark. He's a stowaway.
And he just starts committing extinctions.
And he just hangs out for 9 months.
No, I thought about that too. I was like, he must smell like... how do you not know he's on the ship is my point. Like,
right. His leg is infected.
Well, to be fair, that entire arc smells like dog shit.
That's true.
But they shouldn't, because they're all asleep, right? That's the idea, is like all these animals are basically in hibernation. Okay? But I think it's pretty funny that, Ham finds...
I love these shots of the atmosphere
it's
forming
gorgeous.
and the lightning.
Yeah. It's beautiful. But Ham finds Tubal Cain there. He's like, "Oh, I'm injured."
Wait, this is just the intro to that Robert Zemeckis movie Here, isn't it?
This is it's Twin Peaks: The Return, episode 8.
So he finds Tubal Cain. Tubal Cain's like, "I'm injured." He's eating some random animal, which I think is so fucking funny because
he eats he bites the head off an eel.
Yeah, like there's an implication here that whatever animal he ate went extinct because there was only 2 left, and that's why that animal doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
This guy, power move.
Which also begs the question, what was Noah's family planning to eat?
That's a very good point. I mean, all those fucking berries they don't have.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're vegans, but like some of those plants they need because the leaf tells you if someone's pregnant.
Yeah, that's true too.
Fucking crazy.
So this is where Emma Watson starts, hacking up a storm, and she's like, "I'm sick." She goes to Jennifer Connelly, who gives her some prehistoric pregnancy test, and she's like, "Oh, sweet child, you are not sick." And then she goes, "That's impossible." And she goes, and then they find out she's pregnant. They go to Russell Crowe. Now, keep in mind, Russell Crowe this whole time.
Why does that snake have 4 eyes?
I don't fucking know, man.
That snake looked like the Geico lizard.
They show that same shot, JT, 5 times in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like, Noah's the whole time has been saying, "We are all going to die." He says, "When we get off this boat, Shem, you and Emma Watson, Douglas Booth and Emma Watson, you will bury us. Ham will bury you two, and then their little kid, Japheth, who we haven't even talked about, you will bury Ham, and then you will be Y, the last man."
Jay, the last man. The look on that kid's face is just like, I don't want to deal with that shit.
See, to me, I saw that look. He's like, it must be done. I understand this.
Hell yeah.
Could you imagine like going through all this just for him to say, "Okay, yeah, now we all got to kill ourselves."
Right? Yeah. That's where the inherent tension of this comes from. And then when they introduce that...
Okay, calm down, Jim Jones.
Right?
That's where they go and tell Russell Crowe, who they should already know what his response is going to be.
Right.
They're like, "You're never going to believe this. Emma Watson's pregnant." And he says the following. He says, "You're barren. You can't conceive." And I'm like, dude, you gotta word that a little better.
Learn some tact.
Yeah, have some bedside manner, man. And he says, if you give birth to a boy, then that boy will be the last man on earth. If you give birth to a girl, I will snuff it out.
Yeah.
And then that's when he finds out that Jennifer Connelly went to Methuselah, told him what was going on. He came, healed Emma Watson, yada, yada, yada.
And this is where she like steps up in terms of performance and is like, she's like weeping. She says like, I've followed you through so much crazy shit. I cannot believe you are the kind of person who will do this. Those are our grandchildren, Yeah. And I think Crowe's best scene is when he goes up to the surface.
Oh my God.
And asks God, like, am I supposed to do this? And then he looks like he has to force the words, I will not fail you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets easier each time he repeats it. I just think it's a really interesting moment.
I just love that he goes up to the top of the ark, yells at the sky, and he promises God he's going to murder a baby. He's like, you got it, G-Man. I got whatever you need.
Fine.
And so, yeah, we cut forward 9 fucking months, apparently, because we don't get any kind of note of how long time has passed. But
right. But she's ready to pop.
yeah, she's about ready to give birth.
But she also seems to have, like, conceived immediately.
Yeah.
Like, they get on the boat and she's like, I am pregnant.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess we should also mention that Jennifer Connelly tells Noah, like, she says, if you do this, you will die alone. You will be hated.
Yeah.
I will leave you. It's a good moment.
It rules.
But Emma Watson is about to go into labor. They have this little makeshift raft they've built
Yeah.
for her and Douglas Booth to get off the ark. Russell Crowe sets it on fucking fire.
And Jennifer Connelly's like, if they take this raft, they're going to die out there. And he goes, they won't if they stay.
Very dad answer to that. But at the same time, Ham has been talking to Tubble Cain, who's been hiding away, not showering, shitting in a corner, I guess.
Right.
Rotting away from gangrene.
There's dead animals everywhere.
He's got a staph infection, all kinds of shit. He's been running away, and then he's been kind of like low-key, like telling Ham, like, you gotta kill your dad. Look at this. He's got a whole...
Your dad fucking sucks.
Your dad's a piece of shit, man. You gotta kill him. And so Ham is like, well, how do we do it? And he goes, lure him down here. And he gives him a little knife. He goes, I'll take care of him. Use this just in case. He goes, I'll finish him off. And so, you know, Emma Watson's going into labor.
Yeah.
Ham comes up to Russell Crowe, to Noah, and says, hey, all the animals are awake and they're eating each other alive. And Noah's like, what?
And Noah believes it because Tubble Cain slices a goat's throat so it splatters all over Ham's face.
Yes. And so Noah runs down to where Tubble Cain is. He doesn't know he's there, obviously. He sees all the blood. Tubble Cain had 9 months to plan for this shit, and his plan is to leap out of the shadows yelling.
Ah!
They get into a tussle.
Yeah.
While they're... Go ahead, JT. I see what you're hovering over. Go ahead.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Hey. At the same time, Emma Watson is screaming and begging Jennifer Connelly to please keep it inside.
Oh
which
my
is
God,
gut-wrenching. She is so fucking good
She
throughout
is.
this entire movie.
She really is. It's I think her best performance, truly.
I think she's the MVP. Her and Ray Winstone are tied for me.
Yeah.
Because she's fucking great. She gives birth, JT, get this. Not 1, 2 baby girls.
2 baby girls.
2 baby girls.
Deuces.
And another miracle, those babies are big and clean.
Whatever you want to do, JT, you don't need my permission. Go ahead and do it. It is a conundrum.
That barely made sense,
I know.
but it's really good.
I know. Let him do it. Whatever you want to do, man.
Oh, it's pretty good.
So she gives birth to 2 clean, pristine, brand new, fresh babies.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. You said he would kill him if it was a girl.
Yeah.
But she has girls.
2 of
Yep,
them.
and now she's got 2 of them.
Boom.
We call that double jeopardy.
Call that a loophole, baby.
It's also very convenient because remember, Ham doesn't have a wife and neither does Japheth.
Right.
So the other 2 sons, theoretically, now...
All about the implication.
Noah's like, I told you we have what we need.
He's like, just fucking crank one out, you'll be fine.
Just like motioning towards Emma Watson, like nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Ham makes do.
Noah's crank instead of Noah's arm. So Douglas Booth says, fuck it, I guess I gotta kill my dad. And he gets a knife.
We've all been there.
And he heads out to find Noah, who is, remember, still fighting Tubble Cain. In their fight, Ham says, you know what, I can't kill my dad, but I can kill this guy. Kills Tubble Cain.
And before he does it, Tubble Cain tries to do the classic Cain finisher. Like he holds up a giant rock.
Yeah. trying to go back to his roots, you know what I mean?
My God, that's Tubble Cain's music.
You heard glass smashing. It said it's a rock smashing glass. But yeah, so Jennifer Connelly comes down and she tells Russell Crowe, it's 2 boys. Don't even worry about it. I checked for you.
Yeah.
You don't even worry about it.
They're boys.
So Noah goes up to the top of the ark and Emma Watson's up there with her babies and she's trying to like lure them to sleep because they're screaming. He's got this knife. He's covered in blood. He's like, I'm going to kill these fucking babies. God, so help me God.
Yeah.
His hair grew back.
His hair slightly grew back. And Emma Watson says, at least let me like put them to sleep before you kill them. Let me calm them down. Don't let their last moments be, crying and in agony. And earlier in the movie, we forgot to mention Noah sang this song to her when she was a kid because she was scared. And I'm Javert. She sings that same song to these babies to keep them asleep.
You're a mean one, Mr. Noah.
And she finally lulls them to sleep. He raises this knife to kill these two babies in her hand. She's like, I'll hold them. Don't worry about it. And then he doesn't. He can't do it.
He can't do it. And luckily for all of them, like the relief and the tension when it leaves her body doesn't make her knees buckle because she is right next to the edge of that fucking arc.
She sure fucking is. But yeah, it's a pretty tense moment. But like the best part is the end of this movie to me because
Noah's like me at the beach, just turned off wine coolers.
I want to know how this motherfucker got a serrated blade.
That's a good point. That was part of the goose, if you could believe it, on IMDb. Of like, there's no serrated blades this far back in time.
Yeah, he's got like a Rambo knife.
Yeah. But I love knowing that Aronofsky had to pitch to Paramount that the end of this movie is Noah just getting fucking hammered on the beach in a cove because he's like, I failed God, I failed you all. I'm going to go in isolation, but I'm just going to be, 30 yards over here.
Into exile I must go.
And he's just getting fucking hammered. He's naked. He's just face down on the beach.
Drinking out of the Green Knight's head.
Like, not even half a mile away, his family are like building a house and gardening and everything. They're rebuilding society. They're on the same island that looks like Luke's on in Force Awakens.
This was basically me during COVID when I started doing the podcast.
This shot right here. I mean, just passed out, faded.
Looking at a wine bottle between my legs.
I mean, this man's living the life.
Nathan, around season like 13, that's going to be you.
Oh, for sure.
It's just going to be Dustin like whispering in your ear. Say my wife, Nathan.
We'll be poking and prodding him.
My wife.
Takes a sip of wine, starts crying. My wife.
So to recap the end of this movie.
I'll be dead by then.
Yeah.
We also did get no explanation as to how the animals, how their offspring are supposed to then have more offspring. I guess we're just going to have inbred animals for the rest of time.
Sure.
You didn't grow up on a farm, did you?
Country animals make do.
They have everything they need.
Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The end of this movie is they're rebuilding civilization, but Ham says, I can't fucking do this shit. Even though all he wanted was a wife, and theoretically he may have one here, potentially.
Yeah. I'll find one.
He says, I'm going to go off and do my own thing, which is apparently to die.
Sure.
Like, I'm just going to go do my own thing over there.
Yeah, it's like brother, you were on an island.
Yeah.
He'll diminish and go into the west.
From what that looked like, he's like, I don't want to build a house.
Yeah.
That sounds tough.
He's like, that's hard.
You're right.
We spent 10 years building an ark. I'm done building shit.
Ham just leaves on a like formless CGI beach.
Yep. And they're like, you know what? We're going to go talk to our dad. They drag him out and they're like, look at the world. There's a rainbow and there's animals. We did it. You fucking did it. We don't have to die. It's okay.
Also, just because, real quick, the scene that's playing right now is when they find drunk Russell Crowe. And,
Drunkle Crowe.
Drunkle Crowe.
It's always the stupidest fucking jokes they get me.
Thank you. With all like the like taking stuff for the book of nice. Like taking stuff for the book of Enoch and shit. I'm kind of surprised he cut out, or not really cut out, but didn't adapt the whole what if Ham fucked his dad thing.
Hang on, what now?
I don't know
What's
about
this?
So that is an interpretation of, in the Bible it says like, so okay, for some reason in this movie they switched the two sons. So Ham is actually the youngest and Jebediah, whatever the fuck his name is the middle kid. But in the Bible, it's like, and Ham saw upon his father's nakedness.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
He was drunk and naked.
Basically, a lot of people interpret it as him and his dad fucked.
I've never heard that before.
Oh yeah,
so we got some Bible fan fiction.
But that leads to Noah's whole "you go spill your seed upon the ground and leave me alone and like I curse you."
Yeah, and it does say
and I apologize because I said that leads to Noah's hole. I didn't mean to say that.
I can't remember the kids' names. Samuel and Jebediah.
Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, sure.
In the Bible, if memory serves, it says like, and they placed a cloth around them.
Oh, yeah.
Implying they're covering both of them up.
All right.
And it specifically says the two of them did not see upon their father's nakedness. So yeah, Ham fucked his dad.
Pretty cool. Maybe that's the bonus scene that got deleted.
Yeah.
I'm learning stuff today.
Anyways.
Yeah, me and Nathan are actually going to do a spin-off podcast on the Bible.
Oh, sure.
Noah's Hole.
Sounds great.
It's going to be called Holy Boys.
Oh, like this. It's a good continuation of the show, guys, right there. You go right into that.
Yeah.
So Ham tells Ela, who's Emma Watson, he's like, maybe we'll learn to be kind. And I'm like, boy, do I have some very upsetting news for you. And he's like, I'm glad that the earth starts again with you, basically, as like the mother of all that will come from now on. But
Ela, who is wearing a dress that looks like it's made of wicker. I hate it so much.
And she tells, Noah, like, dude, the whole point was not to like kill off everything. It was to like preserve the things that were good, and God saw good in you.
Right.
Hence why we're still alive. We're still here. And he goes and, almost has a meet cute again with his wife, with Jennifer Connelly. She forgives him with no word said.
Yes.
No, it should be noted. He does not say, I'm sorry.
Nope.
He just holds her hand and she starts crying and laughing.
They touch hands.
And he looks up and sees sort of a rainbow in the sky, kind of, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
End of movie.
That's it.
That's it. So, that's Noah. JT, how do you feel? How do you feel about Noah?
Was this the best way to watch it?
It definitely wasn't what I expected.
Oh, yeah. Also, there's magic snakeskin. We
that's right, yes.
We
forgot to mention.
I thought it looked like he was about to fight his family. He just starts wrapping his knuckles.
Wrapping the knuckles up.
This is the part where he makes the unbreakable vow.
That's right.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We forgot to mention at the beginning of the movie, his dad had a piece of the snakeskin from the serpent that tricked Adam and Eve into biting the forbidden fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Now he just looks like Zod.
Yeah, a little bit. He's like, hold on, I gotta go to my other planet. And he just flies off. And he has this magic snakeskin that Tubblecane takes from the dad, and then he takes it back, and it's not really that important.
And then he boops their fingers for some reason, which causes a little bit of a little magic to go into them.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. That's Noah.
I just want to point out one thing that I thought was pretty funny.
Okay.
All things considered. They filmed a lot of this movie in Iceland, but a lot of the stuff in the Ark they filmed at a studio in New York in October of 2012. Now, for those who maybe forgot, and there was a pretty significant natural event that happened in 2012 called Hurricane Sandy that had made its way up to New York by October, and the city of New York was hit with some pretty heavy rain, putting this production on hold, which I thought
Nathan is sweating listening to you talk about this.
I just thought it was pretty ironic that they had to literally get stopped down because of potential flooding.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Also, we gonna talk about how the fucking Ark Titanic right there? Motherfucker broke in half.
Yeah, they like disassembled it apparently. Yeah. All right. So that's Noah. Any final thoughts, fellas, before we get into Prop Cop and all our wrap-up segments here?
I just love that the last shot is a little rainbow.
It's a nice little rainbow, yeah.
It makes me happy.
Blessed be thy day and Baja be thy blast.
All right, fellas. Well, for the first time in season 8, let's get over to Prop Cop.
There we go.
He was a little late.
It was a little, it's his first day.
That had a delay. No, I clicked it and it had a delay for some reason.
Well, for those of you just tuning in for the first time or need a refresher, Prop Cop is where the three of us are going to look at all of the different props in the movie. We just talked about Noah, and we're each going to pick one for ourselves. And prop is a loose term. Anything tangible, anything physical. All right, well, I guess I'll start here.
Oh, you're going to take his oldest son, aren't you?
Nope, I'm going to take Methuselah's flaming sword.
Hell yeah.
Metal.
I mean, I could think of at least 10 different things I could use that for. Go ahead, Nathan. What's your prop cop?
I want that wooden wine tankard he's drinking out of at the end of the movie.
Sure.
It looks sturdy.
It sure does. Mally, what are you taking?
I'm taking that beachfront property at the end there, bud.
All right, fair enough.
Your boy's looking to retire young.
Hell yeah.
You know what? No, JT, I know you didn't watch all of the movie, but did you see any props in the little bit you did see that you might want to have for yourself?
The ancient serrated knife.
Sure,
yeah.
sure. Makes sense.
Or the bear trap.
Or the bear trap. Do you want that girl's leg still in it, or what?
It's a nice conversation piece.
All right, well, let's talk about bit part. Now, before you hit that cue, JT, I do have to say, this is new for this season. We finally have stingers for all the different segments and bit parts.
Love.
I am now going to start putting in actual bit parts from other movies. And so here is what our bit part intro is on this episode.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
There you go.
Great.
Great bit part. We're going to be exploring all the great bit parts.
Goes so well with this movie.
There will never be a rhyme or reason to it. I should just point that out.
I love it. Absolutely.
That made me forget what my bit part was. Son of a bitch.
So bit part's kind of difficult, I feel like, for this episode. Maybe you guys feel differently, but there's not really anybody that stands out to me too much. But
Oh, wait. I remember what mine was. We good.
Great. I will say there is a guy when they're all trying to storm the Ark to get aboard that Noah is, he's going full John Wick on these guys to keep them off of it. There is a guy that gets a spear hucked into him. And I was like, am I taking yours, Nathan?
Yeah.
No. Okay, that's fine. Because there is also a second guy I'll take instead. You can have the spear guy.
Okay.
There's another guy that he kind of like overhand tosses a hatchet into.
Yes.
I'm like, I'll take that guy then.
It's good.
That's fine. Mally, who are you going to be?
Adam.
We do see him. He's glowing.
Yeah.
We do. He's a glowy boy.
He looks like David Bowie in The Man Who Fell to Earth.
His skincare routine must be immaculate.
He truly is glowing. I'll say that. All right, fellas. Not necessarily that the movie needs it, but in keeping in theme with our show, we're going to talk about it. What is the silver lining for Noah? Anybody want to go first?
Ham got away from his dad, who's just way too strict.
Yeah. Yeah, he rebelled against his... that's a lesson for any parents. The more strict you are, the more rebellious your kid's going to get.
Learn to let go.
Let them have their wives, their broads. Mally, what's your silver lining?
I don't have one.
Great.
Hey.
This movie's fucking stupid.
All right. I think the silver lining is obvious, which is that the world's saved.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
I mean, we didn't really do that great with it the second time,
Nope.
but nope, we don't know that at the end of this movie.
But we've had it for longer.
That's true.
this time.
That's true.
I guess those kids died eventually.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say also a second silver lining is Emma Watson didn't have to watch both her children get murdered in her hands.
Yeah, that's good.
So there you go.
Oh, wait. I do have one.
Okay, here we go. Buckle up.
Noah discovered wine.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen anybody drinking wine before that. So there you go. All right. I mean, it puts a good use to those berries.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, let's say that if you do watch Noah, you're like, well, I know where this is going. Nothing good.
Yeah.
So what is a movie people should watch after they watch Noah with a pick-me-up? There you go.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck was that?
That was great.
That's the end of the theme song from At the Movies with Ebert and Siskel.
I love that.
All right, fellas. I'm going to take Evan Almighty off the board
Fair
here.
enough.
So let's cross that out.
Okay.
What's a movie people should watch after they watch Noah?
Bruce Almighty.
Bruce.
Fair.
I picked another movie that's very fun, but is about how a snake led to the downfall of humanity. I would go with John Carpenter's Escape from L.A.
There you go. There you go. Mally, what are you watching after Noah?
Dogma.
Oh, good call. Good call.
Good call. Yeah. Do you guys see that? He said he's trying to write a script for Dogma 2.
He's got an idea for a sequel. Yeah, a squeakquel, if you will.
Yeah. Now that he's finally got the rights back to it. I'm kind of torn because there's a couple of different ones. I mean, obviously you could go with Gladiator to get more Russell Crowe and like another sword in his hand, this kind of thing. But I'm picking between two here. You know what? I'll just say both of them. Fuck it.
Do it.
The one I would actually watch after this is I'd watch The Green Knight.
Yeah.
Nice.
We already talked about it. It's another movie based on a fable that fucking is so underappreciated and underrated.
I love that movie.
Incredible.
Fantastic score.
Great cum movie.
Great cum movie. So good.
Solid cum film.
Solid cum movie. Did that ever make it onto the show? Is that only in the group chat?
I think we did say it in one episode.
Okay. All right.
It was either an Oppenheimer or one of the Showgirls episodes.
You're right. It's one of those things, yeah. And the other one I was gonna say is very similar. I think another criminally underrated movie that's also based on a fable The Northman.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Northman. I saw that shit in the biggest screen possible, and it was fucking incredible.
Hell yeah. Can't wait for Nosferatu.
To a very tepid audience. I'm like, what is wrong with you fucking people?
Oh, sure.
Lastly, do we recommend Noah?
Fuck no.
No, I do not.
Bravo. You know what? I'm going to say maybe. It's a fucking bizarre movie at times, but it's solid filmmaking in terms of it looks great.
Does it?
Sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. At times.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the visual effects, like not animals related, do hold up. Like I think like I said, the montages and stuff look fucking great. And I think the score, which we didn't really talk about, I think the score rips.
Oh, it is a good score. Yeah.
I think the biggest hurdle the movie has is that it's so fucking weird. Like I don't really know who this movie is for.
Right.
And I mean, genuinely, the entire movie is a guy gets told to build an ark and to save animals, and then he does it.
He's like, all right.
And then he contemplates killing his grandchildren.
Sure thing.
Yeah, like I said, I would just trim up about at least like 15 minutes of it. I think you could get away with just starting with Noah as a kid and his dad, if you really want to do that tie-in connection of the snakeskin, which I don't even really think pays off that well.
Right.
Yeah, I think overall it's a fine movie. I do want to do, if you guys will indulge me, I do want to do an Aronofsky ranking because I feel like this is the last time we'll talk about him for a while.
Sure, please.
I've got mine to give you guys some time to think about it. And here's the thing. I think even if Noah is his worst movie, pretty good filmography.
Yeah.
Like, the man doesn't make bad movies. I would not call Noah a bad movie. I would just say it's fucking weird. And
right.
It's his... You know, I'm going to steal a phrase from another podcast. It is his blank check movie. Like, he got to make the weirdest goddamn movie he could about a biblical epic. So,
absolutely.
Just to be clear,
yeah.
Once again, not the kids movie Blank Check. Right?
Yes, not the blank check. Not that one.
Got it. Okay.
That
movie rips.
8, there's 8 movies here. Mine, it's kind of weird because any one of these almost could be in the top half easily, but
yeah, I'm discovering that the bottom half much easier to figure out.
Yes, I will say that as well. I might get some very interesting responses here in the middle of my ranking here. But number 1 for me, I think it's Requiem for a Dream. I think that's his best movie. And which is funny because that's episode 1, literally as far back in the show as you can go.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me, and these two, number 2 and 3, could swap any day of the week, I think.
Okay.
But number 2, I think I'm going to put Black Swan. And then I think number 3 is The Wrestler. I think those two could swap almost any time and be fine. Number 4 is going to rustle some feathers.
Rustle some crows.
I think I'm going to put Mother as number 4. God damn it. Number 5, I think I'm going to put The Fountain.
Okay.
And then number 6, I'm going to put The Whale. I know I called The Whale a masterpiece in that episode. I still think it might be. I know I'm wrong. I know I'm in the minority. I know that's fine. But it's still, compared to the other 5 movies, I think it's in 6th place.
Sure.
And then that leaves me with Pi. I don't know. Noah and Pi could also swap. I love Pi. And I like cake too. But I think, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say Noah and then Pi. I'm going to put Pi last, unfortunately.
Interesting.
So again, recap: Requiem, Black Swan, Wrestler, Mother, Fountain, Whale, Pi, or Noah Pi. Sorry.
Noah Pi.
Noah Pi.
Okay. I think I've got mine.
Okay.
So number 1, Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Black Swan.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, depending on my mood, those might swap.
Okay.
I love both of those movies. Number 3 would be The Wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 would be The Fountain.
Okay.
Which I just went through a phase where I would put that movie on in the background all the time. And it was just really great creative juice movie to put on.
It's also a weird fucking movie.
It's so weird.
Like this movie.
Okay, number 5 would be Mother, a movie that I disliked the first time I saw it and liked a lot more on repeat viewings.
Okay.
Here's where it gets contentious maybe.
Okay.
Number 6, Pi.
Okay. I get it.
A movie that I fuck with a good deal and is also emotional attachment because it was my first official episode as co-host. Number 7, Noah. Number 8, The Whale.
I get it.
Dead last.
I expect The Whale to be everyone's dead last, pretty much. Mally, you got yours?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Die Hard. Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Okay. Yeah.
Die Hard 2.
Wow, you put Vengeance above 2. Okay.
Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah.
And then Good Day to Die Hard, so I never actually saw it.
Okay.
That reminded me of when Scott Aukerman ranked the Star Wars movies in order of release.
Pretty good.
It's a good bit.
Okay. I think that's all I have. Is there any last words, last rites for Sir Noah before we get out of here?
Do you think the whale was on the ark?
That would be so fucking funny to see, like, just Brendan Fraser in the back of the ark by himself in the dark, like in a corner.
Tubal Khan's amazing.
I think, you know what, his little speech.
No, I need you to distract Kang.
His little speech in The Whale where he's like, I think people are incapable of doing evil, or whatever he says. Like,
right.
Would be a good juxtaposition with Tubal Cain murdering the last of a species to eat it.
It would have been better if, like, Tubal Cain ended up, like, on the tip of the mountain and Russell Crowe's just standing on top of the ark going, "You're on the wrong side of the river!"
I was going to say, I want Tubal Cain on my tip as well. So thank you, everyone, for listening.
I'm logging out.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. Oh, come on.
I think this is going to go just fine.
Yeah.
No, JT, great job on your first episode. How do you think you did? Let's do a post-mortem real quick.
Yeah, how do you think you did?
Right? No, it's funny because I was looking at all these buttons and I'm like, God, I don't know. Yeah, I see the title. This one just says, yeah, fuck you too. But I was like, I don't know how that sounds.
No, go ahead, play it. Let's hear it.
Let's find out.
Fuck you too!
Oh, okay.
That's The Thing. That's Kurt Russell in The Thing.
Yeah, it's good.
There you go.
Oh,
Go ahead, just press them all.
go
ahead. I see which one you're hovering over. Go ahead.
I will crawl.
Yeah.
I will so fuck the shit out of you.
I was thinking about that when old dude was looking for a wife, but I was like, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
You know what? I'm going to give you a solid B+.
That's good.
I think there's room for improvement, but, not bad for your first day.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Basically, I'm going off of Dustin's computer here, and I will be downloading the soundboard on my computer so I can play with all these and find out what all these sound like and get my own things ready. So hopefully I'll be quicker.
Also, you know what? Yeah, feel free to add your own.
Yeah, get creative with it, man. This is your domain.
Surprise us a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard most of these before. Let's start fresh. Like let the flood tidal waves wash away the old soundboard and something. I don't know.
They're either the soundboard is either about to get way less misogynistic or way worse.
No, I think you did solid for your first episode. I'm very happy to have you on board.
Next week's episode, the soundboard's just going to be like 40 clips of Michael Myers breathing.
He's going to record fully of himself drinking peanut butter. So thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode on Noah. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, leave feedback, all of that great podcast roundup stuff. If you haven't already, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And you know what? I made us a Blue Sky account because I figured the Twitter train is dying. So why not? So check us out there. We'll be posting clips from the show and everything there.
I'm literally trying to delete my Twitter account and Twitter support will not allow me to do it.
I just deleted the app. I was like, fuck it, whatever, keep it.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, you can also check out our subreddit at reddit.com/r/silverliningsplaylist. If you have a suggestion for the show, you can email us at silverliningsplaylist@gmail.com.
You can find us on Neopets, Zell,
Xtube, Xhamster.
Honest, hit us up on Venmo.
Yeah, please hit my Cash App up. It's in my bio.
Also, quick shout out, be sure to check out me and Nathan's spinoff, all about sex in the Bible, called Carnal Knowledge.
Oh, I like that. Maximum carnal. Let there be carnal knowledge.
I like that. That's good.
Oh, damn it. The title is right there. The Passion of the Christ.
You know what?
Pretty good.
You know what?
Pretty good. Check out our website at tslppodcast.com. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, if you haven't already, sign up for that Patreon. Only $1 a month. And you also get a 7-day free trial where you can hear Show Guys, mine and Nathan's little spin-off limited series show, and everything else that's going on there. We've got some stuff planned for this season that I think you guys will really enjoy that you can only get if you're a member. So again, $1 a month. Just check out our website. There's a link to our Patreon there. And I think all that's left is for me to give a clue for what we're going to be talking about. Oh. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
There's a little bit of pre-clue slipped out.
It's a good pre-clue movie.
Great Clue movie.
Consider that gun jumped.
We got to do Clue on the show now and call it pre-clue.
Great Clue movie.
Anyway.
That's actually another spin-off podcast.
Our clue for next week is there's nothing funny about next week's episode.
Oh boy.
Not a single thing. Yeah, make do with that what you will. You know what? Because we had a little pre-clue there, I'll give you a second one too. A little post-clue clarity.
That's right.
That's our after show special.
Thank you, JT. If you like musicals, you're going to hate next week's episode. And if you hate musicals, you're going to hate next week's episode.
Too true, bestie.
All right, fellas. It was great talking to you after such a long time away.
Yeah.
But season 8 is now in full swing.
Woo.
And until next week, where we're talking about musicals that everybody hated, as always, the time for mercy has passed. Now our punishment begins.
I love my wife.
I love my wife so fucking much.
I love my wife so fucking much.
I love my wife. I love my wife too.
All right.
Hey guys, I ate a gummy earlier and just thought of a joke that I should have said during the Noah episode. As Tom Waits once said, I'd rather have an arc in front of me than a frontal arc of me. Thank you, Ashley. I love my wife.
Jesus Christ, that was a long one. Anyway, if you're still here, thanks for listening. And remember, you can always check out our back catalog for over 100 episodes of the show. Like, subscribe, and leave feedback if you want. And tune in next week for another one. Laters!